Who are you? I don't know, but I'm writing to you anyway. Where are you? How far in the future? Where'd you find my journal? I may never know, but you can know me from what I put down on these pages. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight, just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter a new era. A great change is coming. Everyone was afraid. I was surrounded by questions and I began to feel how little I know. What is this season that is about to end, and why is it ending? What exactly is out there that could turn the world inside out? If there are still voices singing and laughing in the wilderness, I could record them before they're gone. I also thought of my dad, who always wanted to see the outside world but never did. So, I asked if I could leave. The elder had one condition for letting me go: that I take what I collect to the museum vault, a palace of art and memory at the edge of the earth. She says it's the only place safe from the turmoil of a changing season. I hope that's where you're reading this now. I can't stop the change that is coming, but this time on Earth could live on in these pages. What it looks like, sounds like, how it feels to be alive right now. I'm writing to you at the crack of dawn on the morning I leave home. I can smell breakfast cooking in the other room, and I can hear my mom's voice.
Three, two, one. Hooray! Mr. Lotto's here.
My bag and Dad's camera, ready for the great departure.
You're up. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. I'm making progress. I found the burner, camera, recorder, travel bag. Breakfast is in progress. Still gotta make a pendant. We haven't used this in so long. Good thing I saved the instructions. Just as you would use a shield to protect your body, an identity pendant protects your mind. Your thoughts, memories, everything that makes you, you. We don't wear them here in the village anymore. But if you're going into the outside world, I'll feel better when you've got a pendant shielding you. Diseases of the mind, like the dream sickness. We don't know what caused it. We heard people suddenly fell into an eternal sleep. These were years of wild rumors, and half of them turned out to be true. In times of war, a pendant can be used to identify a body. Let's skip that part. Objects have two layers, the physical and the mental. The pendant needs to absorb both. 1. Collect a sentimental object for each sense: sound, smell, feel, sight, taste. 2. Feel the sense and speak aloud a memory of the object. 3. Feed the object into the burner. The memory will leave the speaker as it is transferred to the pendant. That means I'll forget the memory after I say it. It's supposed to be painless, at least. No, you must remember everything. That's your role. Okay, so this old tape should work for our sense of sound. I remember you and I fell asleep listening to this tape. Your dad came home. We all rested together until it got dark. What an odd feeling. Like an absence, disappearing. The empty space fills itself back in until I forget that I forgot anything at all. I'm glad I'm only losing a few memories. If I lost too many, I wouldn't even know who you are. You should pick the rest of the objects. I'll lose the memories, but you'll have them in a pendant forever. So they should be important to you. They should be parts of your identity you want to be sure to protect. So think about what these items and what the memories would preserve about you. Let's do smell next. Find an object with a strong odor and that holds a piece of you.
Childhood. Too sweet, too old. I always wanted to experience new things. Granite, seaside, darkness. This speaks to how my mom loves me. Ancient perfume, sweet. Nothing is ever lost.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep. Your dad used to bring these flowers home from his climbs. They only grow high up in the mountains. He was a great climber. He even found us a new source of water. I hoped after he would climb less, maybe even retire, but he always wanted to explore, and the only direction to go was up. Maybe the Elder is letting you leave out of guilt for what happened to your dad. If someone has the energy to leave, it needs to go somewhere. He fell into the Fitz ravine. We never found his body. But doesn't he rest with us at night? Doesn't he appear in our dreams? How can such a human being depart this earth without leaving behind a trace as strong as the flowers would still have their scent? Darling, I don't want to lose this one. I can't lose this one. Can we put the flowers back, please? Thank you.
Honey, wax, baby, waves. I was loved by people I have no memory of.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep. This kind of candle keeps someone alive for the time it takes to burn, just a few hours when death is nearby. It can be enough for last rites, last words. This was Grandma's candle. She didn't want to use it. You spent a lot of time with her when you were a baby. I realized she wouldn't live long enough for you to remember her, or for her to see you grow up and discover what kind of person you'd be. So in a way, you don't know her, and she didn't know you, and yet she loved you. I don't know where love goes, but it belongs to you anyway. Now touch. Pick something with a texture you like.
Creased paper lines. I take care of fragile things.
So what did you end up choosing? Okay, feel the little bird. I remember your friend Pate made this little bird. You wanted to protect it, keep it like a pet. I thought it wouldn't last long. It's just a bit of folded paper, but you took good care of it. And years went by. You'd done it. It was still intact. That was when I started to understand what kind of person you are. You will chaperone these delicate things into the future. I'm fine. Let's do sight next. Pick something that looks nice.
Poisoned, blue, shine. I look closely.
So, what did you end up choosing? When you were a little kid and I'd wash your pants, I'd check the pockets and find all kinds of little things you'd collected off the ground. Rocks, leaves, bits of string, and bugs. It happened less and less as you got older. But I remember the afternoon I found this beautiful blue beetle in your pocket. I thought, oh, this might be the last time. And this dead insect suddenly became so precious to me. What is it in our young eyes that imbue every small thing with meaning? Why do we lose this? I don't think you ever did. For taste, we can eat breakfast and feed some to the burner. The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now. I want you to have it forever. Standing here, you're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories, a gem of home around your neck. This is my only condition for letting you go. You must promise me never to take the pendant off. And never tamper with it. Okay? Then I'm okay with you leaving. I think your camera and bag are still in your room. It's time to gather them up. I've lost so much. How could the world ask me to lose you too? Look at us. There we are. There we were. We'll always be right here on this beautiful morning.
I just performed a ritual with my mom. The moment has passed, but I'll record it in these pages for you for the future. I never knew when my mom would share a memory of Dad while cooking, on a walk, with no warning. It knocked the wind out of me. Rituals take this grief and give it a shape and a story. Filling in this journal is a ritual too, but for a loss that hasn't hit us yet. I've brought tools to record the sights and sounds of this season. I'll start by recording the only place I've ever known. Last night there was a goodbye party here in the plaza. Everyone was so afraid for me. To understand that fear, to understand where I grew up, you have to know the man standing watch over the plaza, Dr. Fumio. This is Dr. Fumio and his son. The statue isn't as old as it looks. The artist wore it down to give it a feeling of ancientness and the authority that comes with it. Dr. Fumio and his son founded Caro back in 776. They live on through our traditions. There are 3 murals celebrating Dr. Fumio's work. The elder sought out Dr. Fumio to cure her mother, who was suffering from time misperception. Remembering everything must be painful. Dr. Fumio brought peace to so many people here. Smells like an old man's toes dipped in cinnamon. I had to drink this gross potion last night. Like my pendant, it's supposed to protect my brain. There's something eerie about an instrument that plays itself. This is a healing instrument created by Dr. Fumio. It draws on the pure mountain air. Pate's little daydream of leaving this place, of seeing something weird. Dr. Fumio said the dream sickness was caused by something very powerful. He wasn't able to cure it. Dr. Fumio was an important person, but we also just have a need to put a human face on events that are beyond our control. He may have felt just as scared and helpless as everyone else. I go fishing here with my best friend Pate, even though there's nothing to catch. We both appreciate the silence. A village that was created as a place to heal. Is that where my instinct to try to help comes from? It's so strange to imagine I'll be shaped by places and people I haven't met yet. So strange to imagine that I might feel at home somewhere else. Caro Village was founded during the modernity. Much later, Dr. Fumio arrived and remade it in his image. This flower means you're in my thoughts. The morning after the search was called off for Dad, our doorstep was covered in them.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay. How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.
I hold a photograph of everyone I've ever known. I hold it tight. Pate fixed up 3 bikes instead of 1. These bikes were used by messengers a long, long time ago. Most of what I've seen from the outside world probably arrived in a cart like this. Traders used to come to the outskirts of the village. The war put an end to this. From the village, these cranes look like little creatures, grazing. I had no idea how huge they are. I feel nourished in these sights by the unfamiliarity of it all. These means of connection, long in disuse, are certainly telling me something about the world. Will they be used again in the next season? We learned about old technology in school, but not much about animals. What are these strange goat-like creatures? Are they simply goats? I cycled through landscapes, seeing them for the first and last time. I had no idea when I left my home how the season would end, or more importantly, how soon. On a cold, damp day, I feel true loneliness for the first time. Nobody could have described with words how big this world is, how it goes and goes. I passed through it, where others passed before me. When a season turns, the reasons behind things might disappear. But the engine may survive. The power is not lost. It's just buried a little. Someone was out here alone. Time seems to pass differently around here. I feel so heavy and so light at the same time. I'm not really alone. I'm with myself. I'm with the earth. One melody is like me out here alone. I can't really live like this. I have a feeling they use these music boxes to fall asleep. They kept themselves company with music. Two voices is like me and my mom. Looks like they made it out of here. What is this group? In the empty places, I found companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life. I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
Let's set the scene for the listener, whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die, this library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers, but I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there. It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you've gotten a firm hold on it, but as long as you're there to witness it, to take it down in your journal, you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all. I heard, somebody told me, you want to capture what it's like to be alive during this season? For the future? And you want to understand why and how the season is going to end. The season of my youth is long gone. But I can tell you what that season was like and what I know about how it ended. First, I got old. That's an important step. Being an elder is all about how you react to strange events. The key is not to be surprised, but kind of frown. Look serious. And say something like, "It begins." Never say, "I don't know." Say, "We dive into a pool of uncertainty." I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship. The short-lived but glorious watery republics. Floating cities. Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were a jewel of the golden season. Pleasure boats with a radical political program. How nice. The golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom taught me to read them. She was the ship's philosopher. My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death. We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy. My grandparents played with the past. They changed it like we change our wardrobe. So it was a different answer every time. But they often said we were exiles of some kind. Exiled royalty from a secret lineage, blood that glows in the dark. Or exiled from the mouth of some great leviathan. When they were older, they just said, "We're from here. We're from right now." I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. It was so comforting. Picture me as a kid in bed, feeling the swaying of the ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too. Wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and there were 2 dance halls. a large, elegant one, and another one in the basement. A lot of my firsts were down there. My first dance, my first kiss, and so forth. Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. Took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth. Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out. But they knew, I guess. Yes, the start of the war was a turning of seasons. And we had been warned this season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system. It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the prismatic grounds. A kingdom of art and science. They got rich during the golden season. Everything that made them beloved before the wealth came. Passionate, uncompromising, self-obsessed. Made them unbearable once they had power. Artists make terrible kings. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The story gets darker from here on. Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds. What's so hard is the feeling of absolute loneliness. Normally, we're all at least roughly in the same flow of time. But with this disorder, you walk alone, truly. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases. I decided to go find him. I found out his name was Dr. Fumio, and he traveled with his son Lucio. People talked about him like he was a god. The prismatic grounds had roped almost everyone into their system. Until they reached the far wastes and heard no for the first time. Nobody reacted well. It got to the point of, neighborhood against neighborhood. Grievances had been buried so deeply we forgot they were there. It felt like things changed overnight. I'd pass through a city and hear later that they'd torn each other apart. I could not imagine it. I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me. Yes, our Caro Village. People thought it had been destroyed, or was a myth, but Lucio had a vision which showed us how to get here. I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. At night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers. I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again. In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Caro Village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring, hiking, climbing. And when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world, and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing. So why couldn't I? One day, we got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. Yes, it was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, as I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean. As if I was back in my bedroom on the ship. As if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home, and nothing could hurt me.
I imagined coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in. We never used this kind of technology in my village. Nobody trusted it. Wow, it's still working. It's still delivering power somewhere.
Oh. The valley. One second.
I'm not the first to do this. Just the first in a long time.
Is that a strotophob? What are they called? What is it? I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story. What are you doing here? The whole thing, huh? You're young. You got time. What kind of stuff are you recording? That's the way to do it, if you ask me. If anyone asked me, I mean. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
It seems like I'll have to wait for night to enter the shrine.
Hey. This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys? I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's going to be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart. A couple of days from now. Day 0, we call it. Greyhounders. We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, mine sweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new. We'll do anything to make the future better than the present. No big deal. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well, anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a new element or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So, I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Gonna try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea. Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley, too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to. And he gave me a map. The assembly point seemed like a good place to start. I wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley. I am probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign. The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500. I've wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves. The elder warned me about valleys. She said they were dangerous. I feel a dulcet tension in the air. I enter to see the moment between seasons.
Let us, God of sleep, I've been gathering harpic, and I've been gathering courage. If my big prayer is wrong, if it goes against divine will, please spare the people of this valley. We're so desperate for peace.
Memory told over and over again. These metal animals are looking up, expectantly.
Wow, we got a big show today.
Huge show.
Breaking news. The Gray Hands have died.
We're being reborn, baby.
And we're taking suggestions for our new name.
Live on the air suggestions from the rank and file.
You don't even need to be a Gray Hand to suggest a name.
True, true.
The number to call is 0019. That is 0019.
First caller, hit us with a name.
Hi, yeah. I was thinking the bricklayers.
Okay. Bricklayers.
Laying some bricks. Well, yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
We'll be taking them all afternoon, so keep them coming.
That number again is 0019. You're listening to Greyhand Radio. We are broadcasting live from Greyhand HQ.
And we're gonna take a little break.
If the Greyhands are changing their name, you'd know them as something else. These people had to leave so much behind. Filled with grain for the future. The farmer didn't know they wouldn't need it. Is that your name on your collar? Let's see. You are Madrigal. And you are Mata. The sound of this bell has a lot of character. Compared to my village, they lived in the open here. They lived on the land itself. I hope in the future, at least some people are still living like that. There must be a lot of people going to the city if they need to keep track of them with cards. The Grey Hands want to end this season. Imagine if the man I met is the only living Greyhand, and the rest are cardboard. say they're going to build the next season. How? There seems to be suspicion about the real condition of the dam and why it's being taken down. It's hard to imagine something new, a new way of living, but they're trying. The Grey Hands seem to care what people think about them. The process of taking people out of the valley was also a kind of ritual, a way of bridging one life to another. They know the world they're leaving. The next one hasn't been created yet. This flower has a shimmering quality.
I knew my brain was doing something special. I thought I'd wake up with an idea for a new shape or color. Everybody would love my new shape or color. But instead, my brain gave me a dream which made people afraid. Which is making you leave. The dream scared me, but also made me glad to be alive. I am happy to keep living. I don't mind. The elder said it means this season is ending soon. I want to tell you the dream now. Let's shut our eyes and lay on the roof. We are already on the roof. That's good. I'll speak the dream out loud and you imagine it. You can close your eyes now. I'll tell you when to open them. I am in the forest. The sun is bright. My stomach rumbles. I'm hungry. I look for something to eat. There are fruit trees lining the path. I look for one to pick, to eat. I climb up one of the trees and reach out to grab a shining red apple. I blink, and suddenly the apple is rotten. It looks like it's full of spiders. I blink again, and now the apple is just a baby apple. Not ripe or rotten. I lose my balance and fall onto the ground. The apple changes colors. Some are eaten, some disappear. I hear a voice. Someone is there with me. I try to recognize who they are, but their face keeps changing. They're kind of everywhere. I tell them I'm hungry. I want what the earth is trying to give me. They say these aren't apples. They're memories of every apple I've ever seen. There's something wrong with my eyes, and there's something wrong with the soil. They say I need to look into the sun to clear out my vision. They say we're going to look together, and that when we do, they'll melt away. They want to. Then behind them I see you, watching from the shadows. You've been taking notes on everything. This makes me feel better. I turn my head and I let the light in. I lose track of everything. When I get my senses back, I find myself holding a round, red fruit in my hand. I don't know what it is, but I take a bite, and it's the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. Then I woke up. You can open your eyes now. You probably have questions. It wasn't only my fault that the apples were acting funny. It seemed like the natural world, or whatever it's called, the land didn't know what time it was either. The soil had to forget a little. The face of the ghost person in the dream? They were everyone and no one. It reminded me of someone I used to look for. My birth was not easy. I was bigger than most babies. After I was born, the elder advised them not to have any more children. But years later, my parents tried. They told me I'd have a sibling, but we lost them a few weeks later. I felt like it was my fault. I should have been born last, if ever. I needed to see this missing person somewhere. So I searched faces for a face I'd never seen. I thought I had to carry them forever. But in the dream, they wanted to become part of everything. I had to let them go, which felt like a piece of me was dying. It hurts a lot, but it's a nice thing to do. It if you can, to let part of you become part of everything. Oh, I feel a bit winded now. I feel like everything is happening the way it should, but I still wish none of it would happen at all. I wish my dream didn't mean anything. I wish we had wasted more time together. I'll count the hours until then. We'll go down this roof together, and you'll keep going down and down, down into the heart of the world. Thank you for listening to my dream.
The text is barely legible. 3 aphorisms from the young. None should see the face of love and live. It looks like a set of aphorisms. Now to find the rest.
He's not for sale. Not because he's special to me, but because he is trash. A crazy woman made this junk. An artist. I buried her a long time ago. I'm surrounded by it, but my eyes, I can only see here. Can you bring me photos of my art? I'd like to see my work one more time. I want to see how I wasted my life.
They look like they passed out.
What do you think of it? Wrong. What was the point of these creatures? The horned dogs of war? I look at them and I feel nothing. I should have grown ivy over them. At least the flood will take it all away. Was I never truly inspired? Did I really fail so completely? Let's see another. The figure is without grace or true emotion. I thought if I stood outside his door long enough in the rain, that God would let me inside. All I did was toil my fingers to pieces. I wanted to capture this valley in a piece of art. That's all. It's just junk. Enough about my... Let me see what else you've got in that journal. My trash all on a page together, like a real art exhibit. One day, you could add my name to it. Mitziora. They might as well know who to blame. The museum vault. Every artist dreams of their work hanging on its walls. Oh my God. You'll try to go there? It's so far. It'll drain your life away trying to reach it. It might be a longer term than you expect. You may be as old as I am by the time you get there. Your journal might end up in the vault, which means my artwork might end up there. Oh, that would redeem everything. Every wasted hour. When a dream crawls back out of your throat, it hurts. But I can do better than those little statues. I can, if you help me. This art will memorialize Tieng Valley, and we'll finish it together. Tieng Valley has many faces, many themes, characters, eras, stages of its existence. Take a look through this junk, and we'll pick one of those faces. A face to show Tieng Valley to the unborn children of the next season. You do that while I make some tea.
What a cheap-looking contraption. I'm not sure what to think about this. I'm not sure what to think about this. Within the piles of junk, I found a metal cutout of a symbol. These patterns, what powers have they had and lost?
The sleep symbol. This is the pattern, the vibration the prayer makes. When the prayer is said, you can feel it in the air, but you can see it in the water. If you ever see this pattern in motion, prepare to sleep. There are two others. Remember and forget. But this one is my favorite. This is the pattern that ended the war. Sonia, the monk, used this prayer to end the war. A prayer to end a season. God of sleep listened. Power was greater and deeper than anyone knew. That was how the last season ended. Do you want this to be our theme? Very good. And the tea is ready. In the past, I tried to control everything. My work was dead. This time, let's follow our intuition, gather some pieces, and see what happens. What magic might be hiding in this day, which will pass and never return? This tea is good for the throat. It makes me want to sing. That was it. That was Tieng Valley. I thought we would capture Tieng Valley in a piece of art. But we captured it in a moment instead. A moment can never hang on the wall of a museum. But you will still carry it with you. You were the co-author of this moment. I would never have found it without you. I'll rest these weary knees, these old eyes. But you're welcome to bring me images of this valley. As long as you bring them close enough for me to see. I'll tell you what I know. There's only a little bit of today left. And then the city, the flood, the lights, the next season.
A home isolated from the rest of the valley. I've had my first experience of loneliness on this trip. I can't imagine a lifetime's worth. I wonder if the graffiti will survive the flood. The horned dogs of war. They were all over the valley. What mark should I leave? Music from a trio of performers. The metal, the breeze, and my mind. A mineral that can affect the mind. To what extent? The bird stole a small trinket. I left the bird its prize, but maybe I can learn more about the locket. The tree looks healthy. The ritual must have worked.
Oh, no, no, no. You said we had until midnight. I'm not ready to leave. Look at all this. Wait a minute. A cute outfit, a bicycle. You're not a greyhound. Oh, what a relief. I'm sorry. I just assumed because who else would be... What are you doing here? Well, I'm Sofon. My boy Kochi is skulking around here somewhere. Welcome to Tieng Valley. You should have been here a week ago when the evacuation started. Almost everyone is gone now. Oh, I hope she was nice to you. She has good and bad days. Like all of us, I guess. I hope she'll evacuate with us tonight. The monk is a lost cause, but I couldn't bear the thought of her staying behind. I hope we'll be neighbors in the Radiant City then. Look! See how they put the dimensions on the back? I recreated our future apartment here, on the lawn. This is the space we have to work with, to live in. I'm trying to really imagine what it'll be like. We're going from a big farm to one room, and we need to be packed by tonight. I already packed for myself and my son, but my husband Yuri is a little harder to pack for because he passed away recently. And I can't bring all his things. It's not realistic. His stuff is still... It's all here. It's okay. You said you wanted to meet people, right? Well, here I am. This lawn is my whole life. We can do this. Just need to decide. Yuri learned to paint from our neighbor, Matiora. He painted all 3 of these. This is a self-portrait he did. Kind of intense, right? He was more handsome than that. I wish he could have seen himself the way I saw him, you know? He was really lovely, just occasional dark moods from his work. This is his portrait of me. We got into a fight over it. What's that supposed to mean? You just splatter some paint on the canvas and put my name on it? He said it was my essence. I don't know. Do you think it looks like me? He painted this for Kochi. Some kind of private joke between the 2 of them. I don't get it. They were both interested in the war and how it ended. I'm not. I just pray nothing like that will ever happen again. Which painting should I take with me? Yes, you're right. Himself from his own eyes, something I could never see without this painting. Our old cart broke. I overloaded it. So I had to use the wheels of his bicycle. Now he's so mad he won't say a word. I've packed my essential clothes. I don't know what to do with these. This was Yuri's best suit. Maybe when Kochi grows up, it'll fit him. That's a long time away, though. My island dress. I made this for our trip to the islands, the trip we never took. It was based on a photo of a seaside Azan dance. The hours I spent on this. These are some of Yuri's clothes from when he was a kid. I thought Kochi could wear them, but he says they're itchy. So what's the use? But to throw them away, he was a little boy. He would put these clothes and go to school. He grew up. Oh, God, this is... I mean, this hurts a little. Okay. Yes, they seem so precious. I don't know. I should keep these. All right, this is going well. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or someone. The demon of shame and mourning. How could I have forgotten? Now, where did I put him? We need to bring the demon of shame and mourning. When someone dies and you're in mourning, you're supposed to keep the demon in sight at all times. He's supposed to remind you of your regrets. It's a religious thing. These are Yuri's books. They're pretty heavy. This is an old religious book, The Prism of Yesterday. He didn't like to talk about his faith. I haven't read it much. Maybe there's a part of him in these pages. A part I never understood, that I could still glimpse. Maybe he would want me to keep this one. But I don't know. It just doesn't mean much to me. Yuri found this old tourist guide to the valley before we moved here. He was so excited. But this guide is really out of date. It's from way before the war. There's something optimistic about the colors they used. Yuri really wanted to take a trip to the archipelago together. We prepared for it a lot. Even taught ourselves a bit of the language from this book, but we never made the trip. It was always going to be soon, but it never happened. Seems like the kind of thing no one does anymore. Which should I take with me? Yeah, Kochi and I could still go sometime. Yuri would be so happy if he knew we were there together. I suppose I'll be leaving the other two behind. I know they're heavy, but would you want to take one with you? Right. You probably need to travel light with just a bike. Let's see how this is going so far. We'll remember Yuri's dream of going to the islands. Yuri's clothes, from him when he was a kid. I'll remember how Yuri saw himself. I think we're almost there. Let's just look a little more. I went through all our old photos, trying to see what I might be forgetting. I love that view. Have you been up there? By the entrance to the shrine? The entrance is bigger than the shrine itself. Just across the river and up the hill. It's worth visiting. The doors to the shrine open when the sun goes down. The monk is still in there. I hope he'll evacuate. That's Matiora. She lives east of here, out in the woods by the river. She said she'll evacuate, but she's still here. It makes me nervous, but I can't complain. We're still here too. I wasn't interested in having a child at first. There are just so few these days. The thing all three of us had in common as a family was that we were pretty silly. We used to be, when we were all together. The past is such a heavy dream, and I never remember my dreams. But when I wake up, there's a cloud of feelings the dream left behind. Then the day begins. I move around, and that trace disappears. I wonder if our memories of the valley will drift away like that. Someday Kochi will be as old as his father was when he died. What will he remember? My husband built these tools to study the valley. They were his life's work, and they took his life away, too. So what do I do with them? You can't buy tools like these. He made them. My husband didn't insult God, but maybe he stepped on his toe, and his life went out of him. The truth is, I'm relieved to leave this place. Tieng Valley is not some preserved jar of, I don't know, culture. It's chaos. It's life. It's constantly changing. They might be incredibly valuable to a scientist on the other side of the world. I don't know. I also hate them. I get you're a curious soul, but I forbid you from using them. I don't care, but he did. He gave his life trying to understand this world. I can't keep these tools, and I can't throw them away. There's even more of them, bigger ones, out at his work shed. Okay, I'm going to turn away now. I want you to take them or throw them away. I don't want to know. All right, this is it. Oh. I killed him. The demon of shame and mourning. What was I thinking bringing it along? What an awful tradition. Kochi, do you still want to take a final tour of the valley? Let's get those wheels back where they belong. I know what I'll carry with me. It's something I couldn't leave behind if I tried. It couldn't be crushed, like the demon. It's too many layers deep. I'll carry the part of me that's gone, that's missing. There's so much life left that flowers grow along its edges. Something like that. I'm glad you came to Tieng Valley today. Thank you for being there for me. I didn't realize how much I needed a stranger's ear. Now, there's no rush, but as you try to wrap your mind around this place, feel free to come ask me questions. I'll be right here until night comes.
Night has fallen. The doors to the shrine must be open now.
Do you want to go on a sightseeing tour? The next tour leaves in, well, now basically. Saying goodbye is like when you empty your pockets before going to bed. You get to see what you picked up. The things I picked up need somewhere to sleep. Follow me. This is my tree. Since we can't bring it to the city, I don't care what we bring. I love the tree, and Dad cured it. That's what he did. All this purple stuff in the valley that makes you feel funny, See? This used to be purple. And dangerous. Dad made the dangerous part go away. He wanted to make it so all the purple rocks were safe and green. I know there are plants underwater. Can a tree become an underwater tree? This one can't die. It's been through too much. Let's go. Let's go. We had a picnic here a long time ago. I can't remember it, but I've seen an old picture. Can you take a new picture? And I'll sit like Dad does in the old one I saw.
He is a great kid.
Mom disappeared one time. Took me a while to find her. She was sitting right here, and she was sad. I got one of her tears on my finger, like a little bug, and I flicked it into the water. And I said, flow, 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 until it didn't sound like a word anymore. It made her feel better. Now I say it. I say it when everything is moving, but we don't want to move. Come on. Let's go. His name is Frenay. I asked him how he ended up sleeping here. Frenay said they were in the valley because they were so hungry. And then there was light everywhere, and they fell asleep forever. They should be old men now. But they couldn't get older if they tried. One time, I saw the monk out here cleaning them. It was so funny. He looked like he hated doing it. I'm not supposed to touch the soldiers, but I let Frenay borrow my pig. I need it back now. Let's go. Let's go. I wanted to see the water come up from here, to see it crash. I thought the flood would clean everything. But Mom said a flood is dirty. That makes no sense. I asked if we could stay and watch, but Mom said we need to get a ride to the city. That's our house. You're good. Come on. Let's go. Mom wasn't there when he passed away. I was there. Dad had his eyes closed, but he was making a face, like he could see something. So I asked him what he was looking at. He said he was looking at me, and I was all grown up. He saw me climbing up a hill in the sun. Then he said his memories were falling to the soil, and he had to go with them. He didn't want to go, but he had to. He squeezed my hand, and it hurt, but I didn't mind. Can we wait here a while, just to see if something will happen?
I met a boy who lost his father just like I did. It's something I don't talk about much. But I did to him. I've been recording everything for you. But this feels private. I'm not sure if I want to share this with the future.
You're still here. The tour's over. That's your prize, okay? I have to go home now. I'll see you someday later today.
Kochi collected objects around the valley and laid them to rest at his father's grave. I've collected memories. Where will they be laid to rest? The museum vault? Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? It feels like it was recently abandoned. There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere. They look relieved to have finished their work. The work at the dig site has something to do with Day Zero. Could it be the source of the strange things I've seen in the valley? A pit this size must have taken a while to dig. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the harpic they need. Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral. I wonder what's on this reel. What is Day Zero? Maybe I can find out more about it.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some harpic, of course. Each god seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the harpic, we get the psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done. I could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
It worked. I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present. But now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
This kind of experiment can wear out the mind. But this was worth it. They dug up all that harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on Day Zero. The memories of the owner now turned into a beautiful mineral. What we do to the land eventually makes its way into our blood and our brains. This can define a season.
Oh, thank God someone is still down there. I've been trying to get a hold of someone for hours. Oh, thank you. I forgot the Day Zero materials. You know, the visual literature, the warm bath of ideas? I left it at the dig site. It should be sitting on a barrel with a fruit sticker on it. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to do the secret password. I don't even know who you are. Is it too late now, you think? Yeah, the locals don't use the telephone anyway. The hermit in the woods is afraid to because she got hit by lightning once. Anyways, thanks for answering. The Day Zero material is in the dig site, pretty sure. It should be sitting on a barrel that has a fruit sticker on it. You know, I guess I was going to say you could bring it to me, but the flood will destroy it anyway. So actually, I was worried for nothing. Everything is lost in a flood. God, we really know what we're doing. I'm excited for this all to be over. I'm excited for this all to begin. Bye-bye now. We begin in our mother's arms. We open our eyes, but she's not there. We breathe in. Where is she? She is everywhere. And we breathe out. Good morning. Welcome. Congratulations. You have just stepped into a new season. You may feel as if you're seeing the world for the first time. You may have noticed that colors are more vibrant. You may have noticed that food tastes better. What you are feeling right now is how it feels to be liberated from the past. There once was a season that was beautiful. But everyone you met, their eyes were clouded, and their necks were turned backwards. They were weighed down by loss, haunted by the nightmares of another era. Now you may feel as if a great weight has been lifted. In certain cases, you may feel an unexpendable well of energy rising up inside you, because you know there is so much to do. That the world is ours. And it can be anything we want. With your help, we're going to do it right this time. You won't be alone. There will always be a hand and a voice beside you. There will always be a song to sing.
Tear down the ruin in your mind, the wound you kept inside, can you let it go? Share now the season in your eyes, the people that you find will forget what's yours and mine in the world to come. Tear down the ruin in your mind, the wound you kept inside, can you let it go? Share now the season in your eyes, the people that you find will forget what's yours and mine in the world to come.
What if, on the other side of all our fears, is a better world? Or a worse one? What if it depends on what we do right now?
The necessity of day zero is not just psychological, it's ecological. Because there is a compounding effect to these minerals and their psychological effect. And we see this in Tieng Valley. There is a memory and a memory of a memory and a memory of a memory of a memory. This echo effect, this recursive nature is the problem. As this cycles through the ecosystem, it creates points of pressure where things bleed, and soil and human minds are contaminated. Some will say, what's a few daytime visions? But it is an increasing risk, an increasing danger. Left alone, the haunted quality of this season will only get worse. The necessity of day zero is also to... This particular action will neutralize this phenomenon at its source. This is not an endless cycle. We are putting an end to this psychoactive material, and we are opening up space for something new.
How do they plan to remove the haunted quality of this season?
The necessity of day zero is not just psychological, it's ecological.
Day zero will be the day between one season and the next. It will be the moment everything changes. They believe this will create a better season, that it will heal us.
You're so weak.
A pattern appearing in the water. It's just like in Yuri's experiment.
I recognize you.
It's surreal to find a piece of Dr. Fumio's past so far away from Caro. I smell hay, rust, and old warmth. I knew once I went into the shrine my time to explore the valley was over. I wonder what they dream about. All my life I've heard solemn references to the war. It never reached our village, but it touched the lives of our grandparents.
Everyone's here. She's really going to do it.
Who is Sonia? What did she do to protect the people of the valley? The people here weren't ready for a war. I'm looking at a memorial to the lost, the killed, and the maimed. All this will be washed away. This is an actual car. They used to be everywhere. This machine fueled countless tourists motoring into the valley. I don't know what it's like to be that hungry. The elder showed me this symbol. The soldiers are from the prismatic grounds. The scale of the old world grew beyond human proportion, maybe beyond human feeling. The parking lot will never die.
You'd never believe it. That locket was a gift from a famous singer. But you won't get me, an old lady, reminiscing about a dalliance? No. Next question, please.
I knew once I went into the shrine, my time to explore the valley was over.
Who are you? What are you doing here? I hope this isn't your first day on the job. There isn't much season left to record. What's that? Around your neck? That's a pendant. You're wearing a pendant. My God, I've read about those. A pendant to burner, 5 memories, 1 for each sense. Who did you make the pendant with? And who lost the memories, you or her? I see. And what was something you burned? You burned an insect shell and a memory? Interesting ritual. Similar to what we do here, but different. Yeah, why do I? Your mind will make it into the next season intact. You're protected by 5 senses, 5 lost memories. What about everyone else? You ever think about that? Well, I don't need one. I'll be right here until the flood takes me. The first days of a new season are just so damn hopeful. Feeling that kind of hope again would kill me. I'd rather drown. Of course, of course. Few things are as painful. I told you I read about them. Look at you, protected. The rest of the world is not so lucky. Me, the people you've met on your way here, nobody else is protected. You think everyone makes it into a new season intact? Tell that to the boys face down in the parking lot. You know things are about to change. I can tell. A collective pendant to protect a group instead of one person. You're welcome to try. My memories are all over the shrine. You can have them, destroy them, whatever you want. Asking an old monk to invent a new ritual. Let me die in peace. That smell. The bark of the esto tree. I married couples underneath that tree. One day the tree was struck by lightning. An old couple came to see me, very worried. They'd been married under the tree long before I was a monk. They thought it was a bad omen for their marriage, but they were so old. They'd been married for so long, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. We turned the remains of the tree into this incense. I told the couple to burn the incense, that it would help. Oh, they were relieved. An old ritual turned into a new one. Maybe that's what you're trying to do here. I remember seeing lights like these in the forest one night. It was Manches, the famous singer. The only time I ever got to see him sing, but my eyes were on the crowd. Seeing their faces in electric light, the joy of it. I grew up in a time when we thought our lives could be connected by electricity. How could we hate each other when we all loved the same person? The brief, beautiful delusion that the world was knitting itself together. He dies, the war starts. A season ends. Did I tell you already? Hope is the most painful thing in the world. That's 5. 5 memories. 5 senses. My name is Easel. I was the last monk of Tieng Valley. I never finished my exams to be a monk, but I'm the only one left. I took becoming a monk for granted because I grew up around them. If you're including a ruin like me, you must be serious about recording this season. What will you write about me? That's true, but I was once a scared little boy. I was orphaned by the war. The monks found me on the coast, wandering alone, shell-shocked. Sonia, the head monk, took care of me. I saw things I shouldn't have. She helped me erase those memories. If I had any memories of my family, I lost them too. But at least I didn't wake up screaming anymore. I was so afraid of accidentally calling her Mom. She was the head monk, even before she ended the war. Sonia was an imposing figure. I slept, I forgot, and I grew. The soldiers came to the valley. Sonia hated the war for taking my family, like it took so many others. The most powerful prayers are always made out of desperation. She figured out how to amplify our sleep prayer, a prayer that could end a season. No one had ever done anything like that. She sent me to the coast to turn on the light posts, to signal that the season would end soon. I used to go to the light posts alone, just to dream about another season, to dream about being born in another season, to die in another season, to imagine a life where I wasn't afraid to have hope. I'd like you to have one of these photos, to carry it with you to wherever you're going. Really? Why? I wish you knew her. She was never the same after the big prayer. Nothing was. They've shut off the power. Won't be long now. Imagine the waves rolling in here. The water is so deep that light won't reach us. I should pray one last time. We should both pray right now. Your pendant, the sacrifice your mother made to keep you safe. It might be possible to pass on this blessing, to divide its power among the people you've met on your journey, to shepherd them into the next season. For a truly strong player, we would need to use up the power of your pendant. I'm not sure it would work. It's never been done before, but I know it would weaken your pendant. In that case, nobody would be protected. Before you light the candle, I want you to think hard about if you want to do this. Do you want to pass on this blessing and leave yourself vulnerable? Or will you continue your role as a vessel of memory? I can feel the memory, senses, and energy in the air. I have not prayed with any great purpose in so long. Let's set our minds to it. Pray with me. We sink these words into the fragile earth to accompany lost souls. Listen to the record of our lives spinning, and the old woman tapping her foot to the music. Taste the fruit we stole from the orchard, and pretend to love the taste until you truly do. Feel the fabric of a lost doll. Smell the incense of an old evening sun, the caretaker prayer, the scent of the woods and the wedding tree. Turn your eyes to the colored lights. The faces in the crowd are the faces of your children. We offer this prayer on behalf of our companions. Let them find themselves with senses warm and ready for the life of the season to come. You have the sounds of the moment. The moment is already past. We've done all we can. I need to take you out of this place. It can't end here. Let's go.
I never saw him that way. I was there. I saw it. Firsthand.
The true end of the Tieng Valley was not the flood coming. It was when these people would go their separate ways. At the last possible moment, I saw them as a community. Without the protection of my pendant, I felt even closer to them. Whatever happens, we're all in it together. The Grey Hand arrived. He had what he called passports for everyone. He said they were supposed to have a photo, but that his camera was broken and he wanted to use mine. I saw in these little papers the beginning of a new world. He asked me if I could help him. I had only one moment to decide. I said, yes. The Grey Hand thanked me. He gave me a pin and told me their new name would be Floral Path. The monk said he felt like driving all night.
Listen closely. The road behind you leads to the coast. There's an old warning system on the beach, an emergency light that can be seen from the other side of the ocean. You can warn the rest of the world about the change of season. All you have to do is turn it on. It was built to survive anything. I'm sure it still works. Do you understand? I've been thinking about that. I have this idea to turn my van into a shrine. For every sermon I preach, I'll listen to, and you will survive everything. Rest transparent in the farewell.
Hello. I love you. Ice cream.
No problems.
What this do?
For people.
You turn them on? Aha! I think wrong. It's not for sport. My village. I draw the life. You see? You? Safe village. Show. Nice village. It's weird, no? I have weird. Public lizard for everyone. Oh, haha. I say I live home. My mother no cry goodbye. Your mother? Ah, sad mom. Morning I leave. I go far, far? Alone. Long time. I leave home. Ah, good. Amestai kaikel abe amamola. Aste Camila ek ohak. Nestelefo ak I mestast. Oh, look at crab now. I see. I like it. I draw. What you like? Uh-huh. Sound. To play sound. You play sound.
I heard a lot of music on my trip, but never saw anybody playing it. Just instruments, recordings, echoes.
Good. Here? 3 days together. Friend now. Sad that I go. He is big man. Good hair. Now, here, together, we are safe.
The lights sent out a warning to the other side of the world. I wondered if anyone was watching. I wondered if anyone remembers what it means. This season is over. My new friend is sailing home in the morning. I've decided to go with him. I feel so scared and so relieved at the same time. I can't think straight. Before sailing into the unknown, I checked in on my journal, my letter to the future. blinding light, and a strange pattern disappeared off the surface of the water. My mind emptied out. But then my senses came alive. I smelled the ocean air, felt the boat rocking, heard the waves rolling, saw someone else was with me. I detected the world for the first time. I was overwhelmed by its beauty and a feeling of possibility. Then I found this journal and I read carefully through each page. It says, "Here is my home, my mom, my friends." I didn't recognize any of them, and the loss hit me. I became aware of a massive absence. And I realized that if it wasn't for this journal, I wouldn't even know I lost anything at all. These pages are a little bridge between us and the world that just disappeared. And I put them together, so that must be who I am. Someone who left their home to take measure of the world before it changed. Here's a record of the people I met along the way, moments from their lives at the end of this era. I discovered that a group called the Grey Hands planned to remove the haunted quality of the season with a prayer. So they must have prayed for us to forget, to erase some of the world's memory. I hope what I recorded in my journal helps you cut through the fog of amnesia, the same way it helped me remember who I am. I'll continue taking measure of the world, even if I never make it to a palace of art and memory. No matter where you're reading this, I offer you my journal and the lives inside it. If anything in here escapes from the page into the world, let it be one sentence. Just a few words you heard from a traveler on a bicycle. When at the end of the evening, she turned to you and said, "It is not too late."
How to leave home. For my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move. To entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.